Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let's see if we are running right. Let me just double check here. Let's see, let's turn this on and see how it screen shares in. That seems right. Let's go over to here, Ducascopy, and see if it opens up to there. See if we're seeing the right picture. And we'll check the sound. Make sure everything is functioning right. That looks right there. Let's check the sound itself. Can I hear me now? Let's see. Can I hear me now? Oh, there you go. See if it does it now to speaker. Speaker's off. Can I hear me now? Yes, indeed. I hear me now. All right. I think we're fully functional again. Hooray for us. There we go. Here's Janos. All should be fine today. Yep, I wrote to Doc about it. Excellent. Stocks look like plummeting. Yeah, I know. You know, it's it just goes on. The dance goes on. It doesn't seem to want to stop. It's fascinating. Oil is not. It's not helping either. With the oil almost up at 9. Well, Brent is probably. Oh, there's the numbers too. They've just come out. Let's see what we got up on there. Non-farm payrolls 3+%, 3.5. Let's see what they were looking for. Looky. Live trading with Doc. Let's see. 2.2 on unit labor, and it was high. They were expecting 1.9. I guess that's the cost of unit labor. Yeah, I lost. That's right. And then non-farm payrolls was high. They were looking for 3.4. It was 3.5. Previous was 3.7, and we seen on Friday of last week of 3.8 overall. Year over year. So yeah, we're starting to see more pressure. We, as usual, we usually have a good idea what's going on. And so, we've been talking about inflation in our titles for weeks upon weeks. It's coming back, and here it is. It's coming back. I mean, that's just the way it is. What can we say about that more than anything else? You can see the dollar. Oh, we have gold up there. Let's get the dollar index up there. They're talking about the initial claims. Yeah, let's see. Right. Where's dollar at? I thought I had it up there. I was looking at gold again. It's like, I'm so disappointed always that the gold is not treated fundamentally anymore. Yeah, but then our fundamentals, and Janos has done webinars about it, and that the fundamentals have been basically thrown away. That's the problem we have. That's really what the problem is at this point. You can see over here. Let's put the dollar index up on our new platform right there. And you can see it's just been climbing. That's the platform there, Mountain West. We're going to get you up and running on that, and we've offered, that we're going to kick the tires, make this thing work right. There's the weekly underneath it, and then over time we're going to shoot for having an intraday, and see what else is there. Try to get like a 4-hour one going, maybe a 2-hour where you can push a button and have a 2-hour or half-hour or 15-minute or 4-hour chart, that type of thing. Let's see what we got here. So that's the dollar index. Now we go over to the main chart we use at the moment with Chicago Quant right there. You can see the dollar index is reaching up, heading for that 105 area. And we've talked about this in the webinars. I want to remind people, not that just because I'm right, because I remind people when I'm wrong too. What I'm reminding you of is the fact of why it's happening. And in this case here, we're looking at the reason basically is that interest rates are rising. The world economy, in other words, other competing countries, supposedly if you want to call it competing, but other countries that are competing in the economic system are not doing the job. And as bad as we're governed here in the United States at the moment, our Constitution and our laws keep us somewhat on the right page all the time. We may be coloring, as they would say, in a coloring book that children and adults use, maybe, with a crayon. You're making colors and you're painting in a sense, or a picture of some form with crayons or water paints, we color outside the line sometimes in the United States, but we still stay on the page. And the problem is that the rest of the world is not staying on the page. They keep on moving towards the socialism, thinking that one size will fit all, so everybody will be happy equally. And as we all know, if you go to buy a pair of shoes or a pair of pants or a shirt or many other items, one size never fits all. There's always tall, short, fat, thin. It's the way life is. And so that's the flaw of socialism as an economic system. One size fits all, and it just can't. George Gio, I haven't seen you around in a long while. How you doing? Good morning. Hey, Robin. I'm 5 by 5 on the right time. The chart showed up. Everything is good. Hooray for me. I was worried that the screens were going to be switched on this machine this morning. I do have a little issue with the icons. They're all on this screen instead of the other screen, but I'll put up with that. That's a hell of a lot better than being down and not running right. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. The dollar index keeps on getting past where Mountain West was hoping for it, and I guess he was looking for the downside, but we told him that we were going to see the 104.50 area, and when we were down at 102 or 101 and a half or 102 and 3/4 or wherever it was. It's back in one of the old other webinars. And that's what's so wonderful about doing a webinar. I have to say, what I really enjoy about doing the webinar is it's a documented event of me saying what I think I see and how accurate I am about, conveying what I see. And so it's so nice. I can always go back and say, when I'm wrong and when I'm right. And I have no problem. I can easily show when I'm wrong, because I'm right so many times more than I'm wrong, and that's basically the whole name of the game there. So now from here, I guess what we'll do is we'll shoot. What time is it? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll shoot over to the euro, unless someone wants to see something. And let me just do this. All right, let's find the euro. Right there. Let's put it up on J4X too. There you go. You can see it just keeps on sliding. Oh, what do we got there? There's Janos. Someone mentioned Apple is down marginally. It is at top. I did close on a daily sell yesterday. I did see that. Let's go take a look. We're going to throw it up on our new platform. There it is. Let's see. Let's give you a picture of it there. Which needs a lot of work, the new platform, but it gives the signals pretty well, so I can't complain. You can see we were on the edge of getting into a weekly buy this week, and it failed, and now we're breaking down again. You can see right there. Is that today or tomorrow? That was yesterday. So we closed in a daily sell yesterday. And let's see where she is today. Let's see. And let's go over to there. Let's open it up. Where they are. Is that it? No, let's go to here. There we are. Let's see, Apple. Yeah, what are the indices? They're just a little weak, nothing major. I mean, the Dow's down about 70, 80 points. The FTSE's up 14. I got the DAX down 40. I had the Nikkei close down 250. I've got, let's see, where's it at? The NASDAQ. Where's the NASDAQ at? Oh, here it is. So the S&Ps are down 30 points right now, and the NASDAQ is down 10. Russell's down 10, and the NASDAQ is down 195. So, yeah, they're feeling that pressure there, and we can show that, too, afterwards. Let's get Apple up on the screen. There you go. So it was down yesterday, and it closed yesterday. Let's widen this out so you see this even more clearer. This is a little dysfunctional when they on our system here right now when we look at today's actions live, and then that'll clean up as soon as the New York market gets going. It cleans up into normal bars. So yesterday it settled at what's that, 182.91. Right now with 82.91, and right now it's trading at 76.62. So yeah, they're putting some good pressure on it right now. And we went into the daily sell yesterday. Let's find ourselves a daily sell signal. Not signal, but just put the marker up there for people who need that little extra hint that it's in a sell. See, it broke down below. Let's go like this. We'll widen this and you'll be able to see. It closed yesterday underneath in the minus, the green line, the little histogram, and then the fast algo also closed down there, and the weekly right there, let's move that down, has been in the sell. Let's go back where it went into the sell. Went into the sell back up in here in the 190-ish area. What's it say there? 196.45. Something like that. 196. 19. Is it? Where's it at? Right there, or is it there? 192.58. You can anywhere's in here that week they closed into it, and we can look at the exact number if you want, but there's not much of a reason for it. Let's just put this in there like so. Both the fast and the slow went into the sell together. Let's move that up to the 0 line. There we go. So we've been in a sell since the 190s. Let's put it that way, okay? And on a weekly trend, daily and weekly. And then, then went into a daily sell. It actually went into a daily sell even weeks before that, like a whole week before it, and rode that puppy all the way down to, where did it get down to? Like the 170 area. So it was like a $22 drop. So the math picked up pretty well. See, Apple, but the index is not heading down. Yeah, it is. It's down. And pre-market, Apple is down 3.5%. Here, let's put it up on J4X to start off with. Here's the Tech 100. Let's see, where's it at here? We'll find it. I must have passed by it. There, it's down here somewhere. There, no, there it is. Okay, there's the Tech 100. And you can see it's down pretty firm this morning. You see that minus right there, 173 or something like that. Dow's down less, and then we can put it over here. Here's the Tech 100 again. Let's see. We'll find it in a second. Right there. And that is the dollar index. Now let's go take a look at the Tech 100, which, obviously Apple being the biggest stock in the world is in all the indexes and is dominant in a few of them. And you can see it right there. It's down, how much is it down now? It's down 186 points right there. See it? 186, 187.75, 187, 187.50, 188, 188.25. Trading at 8s, trading at 7s and a halves, trading at 8s, trading at 8 1/4, 7 1/2, 8 1/2. Give us the 9. Where's 9? Let's give us 189. There it is, 189. So you can see that pressure's on it. We've been in the sell since right here in the 1550-ish area, and we are now trading at the 1500, 200 area. So math is done good there, and as you can see, the weekly is doing the same thing as APPL as Apple. It's been in a weekly sell. back in this area before, and rode all the way down. We got into a buy here to protect the move up. It did, but it stayed in the weekly buy. The fast got into a weekly buy, but the slow did not. And we play much more conservative here when it comes to trading, because I don't know if people are using spot or if they're using the hard delta in a partial way, or if they're doing options and hard delta, or if they're doing binaries. I can't, in other words, I try not to give a blanket opinion solely because of that, but I give a blanket opinion or a solid opinion on the direction. I'll always tell you what I see the math tells us in the direction. But how to trade it, I don't know how much capital they have, how much education they have of the marketplace. So we try to give the best possible direction, because I can't tell how well they're going to use that information. And just like in the old Bible, you have Kabbalah. The reason they didn't teach Kabbalah because it's more sophisticated. It's not that the mysticism is any greater or less. It's the level of sophistication. Him, they, and them can mean a lot of different things, each one of those, compared to when you're having a conversation about him, them, or they. And so it's just the level of sophistication of the information being provided. And so I try to do the same thing. I try to only give what I think the broad community listening can utilize it. I give the solid opinion on the direction. That I'm always going to live and die by. But how to invest in it, you have to open up on the chat line and say, this is what I do, Doc. Would this work compared to something else? And that's a simple answer, Pre-market, Apple, is there a potential for index heading down or Apple up? No, the index is down. What index are you looking at that you're not seeing? Was that the FTSE? Didn't I see the FTSE Plus? I think I saw the FTSE Plus. So are you talking about the FTSE, or are you talking about the Tech 100? What index are you looking at? The DAX is down. Tea time. Waiting for your response. Here's a bunch of. We'll let the communications take its time. But as you can see there, the NASDAQ is down. The Dow Jones Industrial Averages. Well, here's the S&P 500 down, and the Dow Jones Industrial Averages down. And matter of fact, I think the switch goes on today. Hey, Robin, you want to check? But I think the switch happens, doesn't it? So we moved the December contracts in the S&Ps after tonight. Or no, maybe they started today. That's what it is. All right, you want to double check on the switch? I think December futures start trading as the front month. So S&Ps will be, it'll be the Christmas S&Ps trading. Same thing. We usually wait about 2 or 3 days longer for the NASDAQ 100. And then the Dow Jones Industrial Average, will be a combination of who's running, wilder in volume, that type of thing, and open interest. But I think the switch is coming, and there's a lot of mysticism about the switch. About, when the switch comes, watch out. Sometimes they say, watch out. Within a week or so, there could be a major, major, major move. All right, I'm just waiting for you, Jonas, to tell us which index you've been looking at. And you know what? We can deviate even a little bit more here. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000. It didn't really get going the first time around. Right there, there's the Russell. And the Russell's been in a daily sell for 3 days and it's still moving down. You can see we've been in a weekly sell since 1950 or 25 or something like that, 1930-ish area. And, we've traded as low as 1832, so about a 100-point drop. And we moved back up to it. Looked like the markets were going to turn into the upside. And here we are again, moving down. Oh, DXY. This, Giannis, okay, is there the S&P 500? What are down? They're all down. SPY. What did he mention? Who? Oh, that the indexes weren't down. Let's see. Oh, did they say that on our chat line? Let me go back and look. Did I miss that? Someone mentioned Apple is down major, and it is the top stock in the U.S. right in the 500, but the index is not heading down. No, it's heading down. You can see it. As a matter of fact, let's crank up. Let's get really wild, but we'll keep our clothes on. And there is the. It's see. Let's show you. This is the close of this is midnight right here. This is the midnight, and this is the close right here of the S&P 500 at the New York closing time. In New York. Okay, so you can see it's been down and has never gotten into the plus at all. And then this is the London Open right here. Here's the London Open. They popped up a little bit, sold down, popped up again on the London moves, and made even a higher high than this high, but they had made a lower low. So it's like what we call an expanding triangle. Let me just show you here, which can be very bearish, like that. And it's in the 5 sequence. And so you would assume that when it reaches the 5th one, say goodbye to the market. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is the readings of W.D. Gann and R.N. Elliott. Both of them had come up with this, and we always remind people here that W.D. Gann and R.N. Elliott were partners with Jones and had offices literally next to each other up around 47th Street in Manhattan back in the late 40s and 50s. And then, R.N. Elliott was much older and he died. And then it was just Gann and Jones. And Jones is the father of the hedge fund universe. He's really the first real hedge fund that was, out there. So when you're talking hedge fund and you mention Jones, a lot of his strategies are what they incorporate today. Let's see. Let me just check the chat line again, make sure I'm not missing anything. There we go. Let's see, please. Oh, here we go. Hey, who's this? This is Hetchin. Hetchin, how you doing? And that's why my bias is. Okay, it's 10-year. Oh, Giannis says, I agree with you. The dollar, U.S. 10-year is also one of the big impact makers, but I look at it as a secondary compared to the DXY. Yes, I agree. But they will march together because the bond market is so more powerful than the currency market. But the currency market is the second biggest market in the world. And if you wanted to rate them in numbers, like you would say that when someone rates something like a 0 to a 10, let's give the currency market a 9.5, just because it doesn't make sense to call it a 10, but it could be a 10. All right. Then let's look at the currency market. The currency market, when looked at participation-wise and size-wise and volume, is like a 6 or 7, like around 7-ish. Okay, could be sometimes near an 8, but pretty much let's say 7 compared to 9.5, or 8 compared to 9.5 or 10. Now the size of the next market is the energy market, and that is like I guess you could say it's like a 4. Okay. Then the next size market is you can say the metals, or you could say the stocks and so forth. That is more like a 1.5, and the stock market is like a 3/4 or 1 or 1.25 or a half. Literally, that's small. The U.S. stock market and global stock markets are incredibly smaller compared to that 9.5, 10 bond market, or that 8 currency market, or that 6 energy market, or the gold and silver and the commodities and the stocks are all way down in the 1.5s and 2s and 1.25 and halves. So they're to measure and understand the stock market and its actions and how much. You can watch the DXY and you can definitely watch the currencies to see the action. I'm sorry, not the currencies. The DXY is the currencies. You could watch the bond market because the bond market is the most powerful of all the markets in size and money and shape. Okay, here we go. Giannis says, this is my bias due to having most of my career looking at currencies day to day. No. You're right. Currencies are a major player, and usually bonds and before 2008 and the quantitative easing, bonds were always are number one. But what governs currency is a combination of the bonds. In other words, interest rates and then fundamentals, which we all know seem to have been thrown out the door. So inflation, CPI, PPI, GDP, employment, all these mechanics that tell us how a country is doing economically, and so, no, you're right. You're not wrong. You're right. As usual, you're on target. You're pretty much, you got a good pulse of the marketplace. Let's see my currency day to day. And then Hitchum says, please, is the Dukascopy card acceptable? Transferring. I have no idea. You have to talk to Janos about that. About the Dukascopy transferring cards and so forth. And Hitchum says, please, is the Dukascopy acceptable for transfer? Oh, okay. So someone has not answered you. I see. So Janos does now. No, they're not. And the card can only be credited from the multi-currency account. Okay. By the way, there's the phone number. Good job, Janos. Ask whatever you want to the general support staff. They are sitting and they're 24/7. Excellent. All right, see, we get a lot of answers done around here. We talk about markets. We talk about the philosophy of markets. What's the reality of the markets, be it the volume or the reality of what moves the markets, or which one will move first in the markets. In this case here, we're all the way down at the bottom of the barrel, which is not bad. I mean, everybody has to have what they want to trade. I remember one time someone asked me, you trade commodities, and you trade currencies, and you also trade stocks. And they said to me, which one's your favorite? And I said, I can spend data connection. And I said to them, I can spend profits in making money on IBM or Apple just as easily as if I make profits on soybeans or oil. And so none of them are my favorites, really. I trade them all. When the math says to go, I jump. That's what it comes down to. So, all right. So there it is. There's the Apple, and let's see if there's the futures contract too. There's the Tech 100 doing the same thing, moving down, and down. It's in a couple-day sell right now as we speak, and today's going into the third day. Let's put it up on Chicago Quant, and let's also put it up on. Oh, we do. Where we have it up on J4X right there. You see that pressure on it. So let's just throw it up on Chicago Quant too, on the old, on the old platform that we still use. And the answer to that is right. Nope, that's not it. Let's try it again. The answer is right there. There we go. And there is the Tech 100. And so let's fix that a little bit. I'm not sure why yesterday was a little melancholy, but it is still in a sell no matter how you cut it. It doesn't show the high. So let's try this. CME, what is it? CME. Let's see if it does that. See if it changes it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's better. So you can see yesterday, matter of fact, the day before was the sell right there. And you can see now we're on a third day of selling and it's falling down. And with that weekly, as we said before, the pressure's been on. The fast jumped up last week, represented the strength we saw here with that weekly daily buy right there. And there's your weekly chart right there. And then on Friday, it closed almost in a sell, and by Monday it closed into the sell, or Tuesday, whatever one you want to look at. And then remember, the United States is on a 4-day week this week because we had our summer holiday, the Labor Day. So instead of May, we have it in September. And so there it is. Let's see what else we got going on here. Sorry for the various departments. Really, I don't understand why people ask these under the comments. I think they do it because they're frustrated. They didn't know where to go. They need you to hold their hand to get them there, and sometimes it's the way it is. It's the internet universe, Comments in the analysis streams that were under articles in Dukascopy, if they're support live, support email, and so forth. Yeah, I hear you. But, you did the good thing. You gave them a phone number. You reminded them that's where it's at. Various departments. They are people being paid to be on duty, nonstop assisting. Sorry for the off topic. Nah, it's a good thing. It helps Dukascopy. Hey, if we can help Dukascopy be more help people understand Dukascopy better, you guys do better. You get paid better. It's all right with me. I don't care. Let's see. What do we got here? So Martirio says, you are the first trader I see that apparently holds knowledge about the occult. Yes, I do. The Kabbalah. Yeah. I study a lot of things. I get involved in a lot of things, and one of them is, look, there was a time where there were some analysts. Let's see. Am I not signed in? There we go. I guess so. There was a time. Is the roll today? Oh, the roll is 12/11 next week. Okay, cool. That would be Tuesday though, not Thursday. That's confusing. Okay, all right. So there was a time. Let me say your name. I think I'll say the last name may be better. That is Madorno. Madorno, am I saying it close to being right? There was a time where there was one analyst who used to follow the sunspots on our sun, and he was very, very accurate. And it wasn't until quantitative easing in 2009 and 2008, 2009 that it disrupted it. Oh, okay, cool. I just wanted to try to get it right. So the sunspots, this particular analyst, I think he was out of Israel actually. But this particular analyst, for decades, predicted really good action of the market just through sunspots, monitoring the sun. Now, there are some good analysts that also followed astrology, and right now there's one out there that's pretty good. His name is, they've died. There's, they get old and die. But there's one now, Ray Merriweather. Good one. He does a good job at analyzing the markets relative to the astrology, where the planets are and so forth. Now, I have philosophies of what that's all about. So I'm not. I'm not saying that. What am I saying? I'm saying that he does a good job. He does a good job, and there's reason to believe that things that occur on Earth are influenced by the solar wind and by heavy protons and electrons. Remember. A flare. Oop, did I get knocked off? Yo, Robin.
It's
12/11. No, wait a minute. That would be.
They don't do it like they used to do it.
Wait a minute. When's the front month switch?
I asked him, and he said it won't be till 12/11. I said, "Are you sure?"
No, there won't be a September. The September contract expires next week.
Right.
Well, it can't be 12/11.
Maybe it's 9/11.
9/11 would be Monday.
I'll call him again.
Yeah, remember, if anybody's listening, watch Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Murphy to give honor to the World Trade Center for not being there anymore for the exchanges that we've lost. That's the way traders look. We look at the exchanges we had and the people that worked on them, and they're not there anymore. Okay. Yeah, check that out, Robin, because it would be 9/11 would be Monday. And I'll start switching the contract. So that was Robin in Chicago. Where am I at? Moderno. So Merriweather, Raymond Merriweather does some good astrology. The guy that did the sunspots, both their work now are nowhere near as accurate as they used to be, solely for only one reason. Now with quantitative easing, the Federal Reserve runs the market. So when you get weakness, they step up. When they get too much strength, they push it down. That type of thing. I use Fibonacci, and I get pretty accurate targets. Yes, you do. Ever since quantitative easing, Fibonacci has become like 70% more efficient. Moving averages, technical analysis in general, have become way more efficient. And so you're not exaggerating that, or you're not you're not fooling yourself. You're not. You're right. It is, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about real markets and what moves markets. And so when a sun, our sun in particular, who controls our whole solar system, when that sun flares, let me take a quick sip of tea, and when that sun flares, it fires out into the solar wind, moving on average of about 350 to 400 kilometers a second. Come from the sun, hit the earth, and they have more protons and electrons. And it influences our planet through lightning and rain and earthquakes and volcanic eruption. These are all legitimate, documented by NASA and other scientific organizations. Okay? And so that influences us. I mean, if we're getting hit by, a lot more effects, that affects our upper thalamus, our brain. It has effects on us when you get hit by extra amounts of energy. So, because of quantitative easing, it still works. Problem is, it doesn't work as efficient because the central banks now run the marketplace. Now, when we talk about like Kabbalah, that is more of a blockchain technology. People don't realize that in the Old Testament, blockchain was being used thousands of years ago and is understood today through that. You could take a look at like the actress Hedy Lamarr. She came up with a blockchain system for encoding for communications and military use. The actress that was considered one of the most gorgeous actresses in history. Let's see if I can throw you a picture of her up on the screen, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Because I think her birthday just came around. Not there. I'm going to find it in a second. And so blockchain technology and concept has been around a very long time. People like to pretend that things are being invented now, new. They're not. It's just what it is people have short memories. That's what it really comes down to. Let's see. Where am I at here? Let's see. I just have to just scroll a little bit more. I've got a text on there too I wanted to see. All right, so let me go like this. Then I go like this. And I'm going to show you this picture of Hedy Lamarr. And as a matter of fact, it says it all. And let's see if I can put it up there like this. Something like that. There's Hedy Lamarr. And it says, actress Hedy Lamarr was widely referred to as the most beautiful woman in the world. In her spare time, she was also a scientist who invented a wireless system which, because of the basis of it, the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS system we use today. And matter of fact, she was, very brilliant. But she was also educated in Torah. And because she was I think she was Austrian. And because she was educated in Torah, she saw the mathematics that's in the Bible. And so that mathematics is in the Bible. Blockchain's been used since Adam and Eve. Okay? Writing about the Adam and Eve and so forth. It's all in there. So the blockchain is in there. And if it's in there, it's in the New Testament, obviously. And at the same time, it's in the Quran. And unfortunately, I can tell you I'm skilled to some extent in Hinduism and Buddhism. And I guess more of Confucius. But, I've seen it in all of them on some level or another. The concepts of topology, set theory, and blockchain. So there we go. All right. I hope that answered your question. Yeah, exactly. I agree. They're there all the time. Yo, Robin.
9/11.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Of all days. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be speaking somewhere. I was going to put a trading jacket on with a badge.
Where are you going?
VFW.
Oh.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to do it in the evening, like 6:30 in the evening.
Taxes next week.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, I'll talk to you after the webinar. So, yep. So traders, now the S&P and so forth are going to change. The front month will change Monday, and the contract itself, the September contracts, are going to expire next Friday. So No, real glad to. Good question. We have a saying around here. There are no dumb or stupid questions or wrong questions. There's only long answers or short answers. That's all it comes down to. So you can ask anything, and if I can't answer it, Robin and I will figure a way to find it, or Janos will, like what Janos did. He found the information with no problem. Let's see. Why am I not seeing that whole message? All right, so, all right, now, where are we at from there? We are. I guess we answered the questions for the time being. Now, let's see, what do we got? We got about 15 minutes to go. So, there we go. Let's go to. Let's see, where were we at? Oh, we were looking at Apple, right? So did we leave the currencies? I guess we looked at the euro and then jumped right into that. Let's jump over to the euro. But traders, if you have anything you want to see, we'll stop what we're doing and just jump right to it, just the way we did with Janos and the Apple computer, the Apple stock itself. That's no problem whatsoever. All right, now from there, let's see. We go over to the euro. Let's go find the euro. But trust me, traders, if you have a question, we'll fire it. We'll deal with it. There's the euro. You can see it right there. It's at the low end of the range. That we've been saying here for what, Janos, maybe a couple months now, that the interest rates are not over with, and the markets are starting to really reflect that. It's where it's at. It's what we're going to be doing. There we go. Mush. There we go. All right, now let's get it up on J4X. And there is the euro. Oh, yeah. Let's get the euro up there. There's the euro. All right, now from there, what do we got going on here? Let's take a look at what's really going on. I guess we're hitting the bottom end of the range. We couldn't get into the weekly. That's because, as Janos talked about, the 10-year refuses to, it can't rally. They tried rallying it, and I can throw a picture of the 10-year or the 30-year up, but in the end result is that they cannot get it to go. The dollar is being strong for only one specific reason. There's no other game in town. Let's see. Janos says, I was bearish on it for most of August, but that retracement phase in the early August and the bounce at the end of the month had me questioning what is going on. Exactly. It's the interest rates again. Interest rates and inflation. It is what it is. And that's really what it comes down to. I don't think I can put it any better than that. It is what it is. And I don't think, as much as we all want to, kind of follow the trend. We follow the math, of course, but I mean the general trend. You would think that we wouldn't see odd things like this happening. But the financial industry and the Federal Reserve, the central banks, are moving in two different directions. The central bank is going its way, and the hedge funds, the mutual funds, the retirement funds, all those funds are moving in the opposite direction. And so, it create like, what? Remember, Janos, for a while you were trying to watch the VIX, and you were saying, geez, why is the VIX acting like this? Why isn't it like not at 22 or 23? It was trading at like 17, 18, and I kept on saying, we're in a weekly sell. And it will basically baffle people. And we were in that weekly sell, and what did we do? We went down to 13. Remember that? Then we finally bounced. Everybody got a little scared, a little excited, and the next thing you know is that let's see where the VIX is today. The VIX was in a daily sell last night. It's in a weekly sell. Let's check it out. I'm going to go over to J4X, and we're going to put that up there and just emphasize the fact looking at volatility helps to clarify. Let's see, where is it at? Helps to clarify some of the, remember that unfortunately it's not a leading indicator as much as everybody wants to believe it is. Remember those years? You remember when you were saying, how come it's not leading? It never was a leading indicator. It's just it's kind of like a thermometer telling you what temperature. Is it 22 Celsius right now, or is it 21 Celsius? That is really what the VIX is. As much as they want to call it the fear index, it is an index that represents concern of the market, but it doesn't really lead as an indicator. Now you can see here, it's bouncing up on the daily. And let's see, Rihanna says VIX, 7.41 today. And it says, let's see, reminds me of the disclaimer of the broker. Yeah, it just keeps going lower. That's because they're selling it, because they're looking. First of all, I can tell you two reasons why they're doing that. Oh, let's see what you say there. 68% of Dookie are long on the euro. Yeah, well, and what are we right here at the webinar? We've been bearish. Let me just go back to that. I'm going to hurt my elbow. I'm going to pat my back, all right? But I'm not patting my back per se. What we are doing is it's on the screen even still. We've been in a weekly sell since the 110s. And on the slow algorithm. On my fast algorithm, we've been in a weekly sell in almost the 111s, 110 and a halves. So, there we go, just answering that. And so, what else we got to say here? Brokers. Let's see. Okay, so let me see. Let me go further. It says, so VIX is 741. Oh, here you go. Moderno says this data is from Dukascopy trader Janos. Right, that's Janos. He's in charge of. He's their top analyst in Riga, and so in Latvia, and so yeah, he's crunching numbers. He's got a graduate degree in it, and he's a listener, and he let's put it this way. We always say when the boots hit the ground or rubber meets the road, like an automobile with the tire. Janos is very discriminating. He pays attention to real data. He gives a damn. And when it works, it works. And when it doesn't, it doesn't. And he knows it, and he doesn't fake it. Okay? Both now. First one from the sentiment widget. It's a totally open position proportion and disclaimer is mandated in Europe. Yeah, it's everywhere. All brokers have to show the losing account. Exactly. Dookie is actually pretty low. Shady and easy to trade brokers have that above 90%. That's the low percentage shows that more or less experienced retail segment hangs around Dukascopy. I guess that's a good thing. So, we got here the webinar, and the webinar tries to give good information. We tried to, it's a free market. I'm a free market capitalist. And so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And it's documented and it's there. And if I'm right, it's right. And it's documented there. That's pretty much simple. In other words, we live and die by our numbers. And there is no maybe, could be, should be. You know where we are in a long-term trend of a week to week to week. It reinforces it. You know where we are on a daily trend. Day to day to day. We put the signals up there, and they're documented and recorded. And I even have a spreadsheet that does it, records the whole thing for decades. So, yeah, there it is. All right, now from there, let's see, what do we got from there? So from there, where do we go to? We go to. We'll find it. We were going through the currencies again. So let's go from there to the British pound and see what the British pound is up to. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't finish off the VIX. Let's just finish off what the math sees about the VIX overall. Let's see. So right. I think we open it right there. There we go. And we'll see how this opens up, and this will show us the VIX and our math and what's interesting, how it's reading it. There it is right there. Now the VIX is going into a daily buy today as we speak. You can see that right there. Still in that weekly sell. And we're using the fast algorithm for the weekly, not the slow, because it's the most accurate. And so you can see right there, it's been in the sell since last week, up in the 15s, 16s. In a daily sell from there, it's been down. It's jumped into the buy, not yesterday as much, but definitely today. But look at that. They did challenge. They knew. Now, the reason why the VIX, let's see, let me just read the it's update everything. Okay. The reason why the VIX, how do I phrase this? Let me think. Why it's not a leading indicator and it's a lagging indicator is because of the way the index is built. So, short-term volatility represents more action. Daily volatility represents less. And the options and the future cannot be exercised. You hear me talk about the BRICS and blockchain and so forth. The reason why they'll never succeed is because they will not create a currency that can be exercised into gold and oil. They just won't let it happen. So they'll talk about it, that it's backed by it, but they won't let it be converted. And if it can't be converted, then it's not worth anything. And that's what the problem is. The options that create, the way they calculate volatility, it's off of the options. And the options on S&P are very accurate because they can be exercised. But the problem with the options on VIX cannot be exercised until the day they expire. And that puts a whole different twist into understanding how options function. And we can get into that later, but right now it's getting time for me to get out of here. So we can easily, matter of fact, the headline today should be, what should we even call this webinar today? Because we've been very matter of fact in many different forms. I guess we could say technical analysis, mysticism or not. How about that? Because it opens the doorway for what Moderno was talking about and led us down from Fibonacci. I started going into sunspot activity. We went into astrology. We went into the Bible, New Testament, Old Testament, the Quran, and we went into all of it. And so I think we'll call it a technical analysis, mysticism or not. How's that? That sounds like a fun thing. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see. What do we got here? It updates every 30 minutes. It's backed by not, but it's backed but not backed. Exactly. Recall. We could have a tomorrow. Let's have a conversation about volatility, and I'll explain more how it works. I recall the last two people who wanted to trade major commodities in something else than the dollar. Yeah, and I don't blame them. There's a couple products out there you can do it in. See, a great subject. write it, take a Skype, and we edit the recording. All for today. See you all tomorrow. All right, traders. This is Doc from North America, the cowboy singing, the farmer cowboy saying, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders.